What's up everybody, I'm Jesse Showalter and welcome back to a series all about designing and coding a responsive landing page from start to finish. Today we're going to be building out the brand logo area and the key features area as well. We're going to be using some pretty awesome techniques today like CSS Grid and Pseudo Elements, and we're also going to be deepening our understanding of GitHub by using pull requests and branches to collaborate on the project. I'm really excited to build out more of this site, and I'm also excited to start collaborating with you on the project itself. With all that being said, let's get started. You can see on my screen, I'm right where we left off in the last video. I have, let's go to my browser. I have the kind of like top header, the whole thing built out. And now what I wanna do is just build out this logo area and these cards down here. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've exported out each of those logos individually. And also I've exported out all the icons on the cards right here. So we have those all ready to go. And we're gonna start coding. So let's see. We're gonna wanna get the elements on the page. I'm gonna put in another section. I just like the feeling of sections as you go down the page. I'm gonna give this one a section with a ID of brands. I'm gonna make it a section with an ID of brand, and then obviously I'm gonna want things to stay within inside that wrapper kind of like area. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna do, I wanna do all of those brands. I might as well just do it like a list, but I have an idea. Here we go. Let's use a little CSS Grid. Ooh, wanna get modern? Let's do it. I'm gonna do a UL, and let's see, I'll do a bunch of LIs. How many we got there? We have 8. I feel like 8's gonna be too many. So we're gonna cheat and we're just gonna do LIs times 6. Let's do 6. And then inside of each of those, I'm gonna do an image tag, okay? We're gonna do this the real down and dirty way. And I'm gonna grab the source for each of these. And I already exported out all of my icons, all of my brands, and I put those inside my build folder. I processed them using gulp images, so they're all like super duper lossless and amazing. And now I'm just gonna go find them. I'm gonna go to assets / image / brand 1. There's a way to like 1, 2, 3, 4, like count them out. I forget how to do that though. So we're just gonna go like that. Let's just do that. And I'm gonna press save. And look, on my page, I get a bunch of little icons in list items with dots next to them. So we're gonna have to tackle that as well. Okay, let's say that that's about it for the HTML, and let's come in and start writing some styles. So I'm gonna write a style for brands, but I don't really care so much about the brands as much as I do the unordered list itself, right? So remember, we got kind of like stuck before on our other unordered list. We just wanna make sure that the unordered lists have no padding, so we don't get like shot out to one side or the other. Let's see, padding. Yeah, we don't want it to have padding on like the left or right because it indents using padding like by default. So let's do padding top and bottom of 20 pixels. Let's use padding to make this thing, okay? We're gonna make sure that the background is white, obviously. And let's see, anything else? Let's just save that and see what we get. Okay, cool. So see how it took away like the indent there? That's really good. Let's give it a border. Okay, we're gonna wanna do that, I think. Border bottom, or maybe we'll do, yeah, let's do border bottom. Let's do border on the bottom, and we'll do 1 pixel solid. I'll go RGBA, because I love RGBA, 0, 0, 0, 0.05. Is that how it's really light? Okay, hold on. Let's just go back in here. Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. Do we have a bottom border? No, there wasn't a bottom border. Okay, strip the bottom border. Get it out of there. We don't need it. Okay, so far so good. Okay, now let's get spicy. Okay, let's do, we're gonna display, ooh, I love CSS Grid. We're gonna display grid. If you don't know, grid is the new way to do layout. Instead of floating things, making things inline, you can create your own custom grids and have lots of like custom control over how you display those grids and move those grids. So we're gonna do just like a little bit of CSS Grid. We're gonna display things grid, and we're going to designate the columns. Okay, to do that, you write grid, what is it, template, not grids, but grid template columns, right? And we want how many columns? We want 6, because that's how many list items that we did there, right? So we could write 6, but we could get a little bit more spicy and write repeat. And we're gonna write, how does it go? You do 6, then auto. I always forget. Hey, if you're looking for a really good resource, I have this awesome little grid cheat sheet that I use sometimes, grid.malvin.co, and you can find a different specification for grid, and you just tap it and it like copies the code to your clipboard and you just paste it in. We're not gonna use it right now, but it's a cool resource if you're ever looking for like a cheat sheet of CSS Grid stuff. So, okay, so we put that at 6, auto. If I press save, it kicks it out to automatically space it. That's really, really nice. Okay, amazing. Let's do also, I think we have to take the margin off of this. And let's see, why are you cooking over to the left? I don't like that at all. Well, first off, let's come down here. We're inside of the UL. We're gonna make an LI. And I just need some space to see. Goodness. Okay. So inside the LI, I want the list items, list style, excuse me, to be none. So let's just take those off. And now what about the LI images? Maybe I want those to be bigger, right? So let's go with 100%. Okay, that's looking kind of good. I'm wondering why they are, I have 6 LIs, right? Grid, template, columns, repeat, 6 auto. It should totally work. Oh, you know why? We didn't finish typing in wrapper for our actual wrapping container. Oh, just missing out on a couple words, and it makes you just lose your mind. Okay, so now look what we got, okay? We have these 6 brands, these logos, and each of the images is at 100%. And as you shrink, we're gonna shrink all the way down. Now we could do this. That's not bad, actually. I think that's what we had in our mock-up, but they get kind of small to see. So let's maybe write a media query, and we'll change the grid. You'll see how easy this is to just affect the grid, okay? So I'm gonna write at media, okay, and I'm gonna write only screen, screen, and is that how you do it? I always forget how to do media queries. Let's just do a max width, okay? So we're gonna do max width, what do you think, like 550 pixels? Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll take this same line of code, the grid template columns, let's switch it to 3, and see what happens now. Okay, browser's refresh, you couldn't even tell. When you get down to 500 pixels, boom, it kicks into a 3-column grid. That's why I love grid so much, and that's why I kind of wanted to export all of those brands out as individual logos or assets, because then we could have some fun with them. But we'll stop with the fun for there. I feel like that's fun enough. Okay, okay, cool. So we got that set in place. That's the brand section. Now below it, we need to do the features section. Okay, so let's come over here. Let's get our design up and let's do some more HTML. Ready? Section with an ID of, let's call it features. And okay, how are we gonna do? We know that it has to have this background, right? So let's just grab the color really quick, and let's just give ourselves some space to write in, because I'm tired of having everything down at the bottom. Okay, so now we're gonna do features, okay? And right away, let's just background, give it a background, okay? Okay, so we have features, and you can't see it yet because there's nothing inside of it. There's no content. The minute I wrote like an H1 in here and tested it though, you'd see how it has that off neutral color. So, okay, cool. What else is in our design? We want not an H1, but let's do an H2, and we'll write features that rock, okay? And then underneath that, we want to have 3 divs, I think. We want to do divs times 3. Div with a class of feature card times 3, okay? Let's do that. I'm just going to grab them all, pressing Command D and space them out. And let's keep going. I'll put an image inside of, image inside of each one of them, diving into assets, image, and I think, what are those called? Icon dash whatever. Icon, I don't remember it. Build, assets, images. They're called icon dash. Sure enough, I was right. Icon dash car dot SVG. Okay, take that. We're just gonna fill those in. And we're gonna change it. So the first one's a car, this last one's a phone, and the middle one is a shoe. Okay, so far so good. How are we looking? Oh yeah, okay, awesome. Cool. And what's underneath each one? So each one has like this alt tag I'm just gonna grab. Let's keep writing our stuff. I'm gonna write an H3. I'm gonna say main headline inside of the H3, and then let's do a paragraph tag with just a little bit of lorem ipsum. Let's take away. Woo! Okay. Doing some weird stuff. Okay, let's go. Yes. Oh, space them out. Make them look ugly like that. Okay, great. Cool. Let's see. We're gonna have to figure out why everything's being displayed all in line like that. Because everything should be block level elements. Let's do div class of feature. Why am I doing that? I feel like I never do that. I should just go feature dash card. That is not how you spell feature. Feature card. And then let's display, you know what? We could do a similar thing. We could use grid here, or we could just do display inline block, and whoop, let's display inline block like that. Also, our H2 for some reason needs to be displayed block, and I don't know why it would do that. That's so weird. Everything should be block on the page. H2 features H2. Any features, let's go. Any feature with an H2 should be displayed block. What do we got? It's like it's being, let's open up our inspector and see why we're getting such weirdness. This is over here, section features. Is it inside of a wrapper? Nothing's wrapped, yo. Okay, that's why. See what I'm saying? So div, always forget that wrapper. What the heck? Okay, so let's go down here, boom. And we're gonna take the rest of these guys and we're just gonna indent them so we can see things clearly. And now we should be getting everything squished in appropriately. Okay, so you gotta make sure you wrap things nicely. Everything's being displayed block like it should. And you know what? We don't even need to write those extra styles. Sometimes you just panic and you troubleshoot the wrong way. Do you ever do that? Look, watch, I'm gonna take away this H2. It's gonna display block, obviously. Okay, so we were giving it no width. It didn't know what to do. It was all funky. So, okay, the feature cards, let's do, I really think we should display grid. I really do. So let's do that. We're gonna go inside here, and instead of displaying here on the feature card, what we'll do is we'll say background. Woo, let's go background white. That's nice. Let's give it a little bit of padding, maybe like 20 pixels. How about pixels? And let's add, I'm sure there was like a little border radius, like maybe like 4 pixels or something. Let's add a little bit more padding to the card. That's looking pretty good. Now we're gonna come back into our features section, or our ID of features, and we're gonna do display. We're gonna add grid on there. Okay, again, it didn't look like it did anything yet. It doesn't look like it does anything until you start defining the grid. Okay, so you can do grid template columns, and we just want to do 3. Can't we just write 3? No? I swear we can. Let's do repeat 3 dash auto. Okay. Ooh, I'm getting all messed up here. I see. Okay. We're gonna want to put something around it. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go, we have the feature card, and we're gonna say div with a class of cards. Okay, let's just put that around each of them because we have that H2. This could be the wrong way to do it. I don't know, I'm just gonna do it. Monkey. Do a class of cards. That's what you need to do, okay? So let's do this. We're gonna get this out of here. We're gonna give a background to the features thing, and then we're gonna go class of cards and do those inside. And now everything is working okay bueno. Inside of my features, we're gonna go text align. I think we should be able to just do center, and that's kind of popping everything into place. Okay, now we have all of our feature cards kind of lined up, but we need some gaps. So let's do grid gap. You could go grid column gap or grid row gap, but I mean, we could just do both and just give it some gap there. Shouldn't that work? Grid gap. Whoops, I'm on the wrong thing yet again. We need it here. Let's go. Why are you indented all weird? There we go. That should work. Look at that. It's spacing our stuff apart. Looking really good. I think we need a little bit more gap. Yeah, that looks kind of good though. Let's go 40 pixels of gap. So it's kind of squeezing everything in a little bit more. Let's do 30 instead. And then what we'll do is we are going to feature card. Let's do feature card, class of feature card, and then we'll do also class of car, feature card, also class of shoe, and this one is a feature card, also class of phone. No, we'll just call it device because I feel like we won't use that anywhere else, okay? So that's kind of good. Okay, so now our cards are looking the way they're supposed to, but now the problem is we have the whole section just needs to be kind of like structured, okay? We need to put some sort of element at the bottom. We also need more space in between the title of the section, the features that rock, and the card. So that's pretty easy to do. We can come into the features section and we can hit the H2 and just add a little bit of margin on the top and bottom, and we can bump it up even more and do like 100 pixels, and that's going to space it way out. Now let's look at our document. It's spaced in kind of a weird way, but we might just like simplify it and space it like that. So it's perfectly 80 pixels from the top, perfectly 80 pixels from the bottom. So first things first, I noticed that we were writing a lot of code in one kind of section. Now, yes, this is specific to the home page, but I feel like the features could actually be reused. So I'm going to take all of this features code and I'm going to delete it. I'm going to create a new document and I'm going to save this as underscore features.sass, and I'm going to put it inside of Sass. We're going to call that a module. It's something that could be, no, maybe not a module, a layout element, something that could be reused over and over and over, right? I'm going to save I can't spell features incorrect if I want to use it. So underscore features.sass. I'm going to save it in there. I've actually voided it out in my homepage. You'll see like everything's going to go wonky. And then all I have to do is go into my main.css and go into layout and write a new import statement called features. And as soon as we press save, bam, it's pumped it right back into the style sheet. So let's do that with a few more style sheets. We'll go back into our page home and we'll see if there's anything else that we can pull out. Now all we have to do is we need to include some way to make that angle. There's a few ways you can do the angle. You can create like a container and using like transform and rotate the entire container, then create an inner container and transform everything back. That can kind of work. The only problem with that is that you're gonna actually get this gap portion. When the piece kind of goes, you're gonna get like a gap over here, and I want an actual diagonal underneath it to fill in the space. So to do that, I'm gonna do a pseudo element, okay? So let's see. First off, when I'm doing a pseudo element, I know that it's gonna be absolutely positioned. So the pseudo element itself is gonna be absolutely positioned. So its parent needs to be relative, okay? So anything I do in here that's absolute is now gonna be relative to the features container. Then I'm gonna do an after statement like that. And underneath that, I'm gonna start kind of building out the style. So what is gonna be in our pseudo element? Well, first thing first, we're gonna add like a border bottom. We'll do like 1 pixel solid, and we'll do, our standard thing. Let's just pull our RGBA thing out. And bam, we'll do it really, really light, because I believe if you look, is there like there might not be a border. We might not need a border, so we'll keep it there and we'll see what happens with it, okay? Next thing we're gonna do is make sure that it's like anchored to the bottom. Obviously we wanna make sure that it's positioned absolute, okay? So we're gonna definitely need that. The background, we want to inherit the color. So this is nice because later on if we change the color of the section, this pseudo element's just going to inherit the color, and that's a really, really nice way to do things. Okay, let's get into it. Whenever you do a pseudo element, it's empty, so it's not going to show up. So we're going to need to add content to it, and we'll just make it empty content, so there's nothing inside of there. And let's give it a height. Let's start out by making it ridiculously large, like 400 pixels. We'll work from there. We want it to be butt up against the left side. I think that makes sense. And also, we want it to be butt up against the left and the right side, absolutely. So it's gonna be full width, I think is what we're doing there. And then we're gonna want to do the transform stuff. So we're gonna transform and we're going to skew it on the y-axis. Golly, I always forget how to do that. And let's start out with -5 degrees, okay? Let's press save and see what happens to it. Okay, that is super ugly. So we got skew. We want to skew the y. Okay, look at that. So we have an angle, but it's jumping in front of all the content. Now we're gonna have to use something called z-index and put it behind the rest of the content. Look at that. We created something. Yeah, that border is wrong. Let's take away the border. We gave it a height on the main parent container of 600 pixels, right? Oh, we made it really high now. That's good. Okay, we're getting there. So the height does not matter on the pseudo element. Maybe it does. Let's go. What happens if I go 100% height? Yeah, we'll keep it at 100%. Okay, we're gonna knock this back down to 500. And let's look at our design and see, does it look similar? Is it much more canted in the design? I think it is. So let's cant it a little bit more. Let's go -10 degrees. Oh, now we're getting real crazy. That looks nice. That looks spot on. Well, now we have something really funky happening. in our header right here, features. Uh-oh, you know what we should have done? Not overflow auto, overflow hidden. Boom. Okay, sorry. Overflow auto kept all the stuff accessible and allowed you to scroll. That was awful. But now it's just hidden, so when you scroll, you won't get any of that. And we can now like push everything up to the repo. I feel pretty confident about where we're at. Look at that. As we shrink it down, we have some basic kind of responsive styles, but we're gonna have to kick these. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna have to kick that grid over and make sense of that. But look at that, it's shrinking nicely and it's working so far. So we're gonna figure out where things break when we get down the road and we'll fix it then. Okay, cool. So let's push up everything to the GitHub repo, and I'm just gonna go over to GitHub and you can see I have 30 uncommitted changes. Those are images and icons, and they are also, let's see, variables. Oh yeah, all the style sheets we changed and the main style sheet, all that kind of good stuff. So that's all good. Awesome, so we're gonna push that up to the repo. We're gonna say built the brand area and the features area. It looks spot on, bro. Okay, cool. We're gonna commit that to the master and sync that up. And then we're gonna talk a little bit about GitHub and what we can do with it. So everything's synced up to the repo. We know that by just coming up, and you can see we built the brand area and the features area. So that's nice. We can see the commits. If we just go right there, here it is. There's all of our code like it's on the interwebs. Now, I want to talk quickly about how you guys can participate in the project with me by using GitHub. When you download or install locally the repo, one of the things you're going to want to do every time you start is if there's something you feel like you want to fix or something that I've done wrong, you feel like you could do better, you could, if you want to, you could try to make a change to the master branch, okay? First thing you're gonna do is you're going to, make your changes, and then you're gonna do a pull request, okay? Doing a pull request is basically going to, by pressing pull request, you are comparing your branch with my branch, and then you're telling me what you did, and you're sending a pull request. You can do it that way. A better way to do it is create what's called a feature branch, okay? We haven't talked about branches yet, but let me just kind of like unpack it a little bit for you. A branch, as the tree is growing of your project, a branch is a subset of the project. We call them feature branches because it might be one portion. You're not trying to fix the whole site. You might say, hey, I don't like the way you did the logo area, Jesse, and so I'm gonna make a branch specifically for the logo or the brand area, and I'm gonna make some tweaks there to the way you did grid or whatever, and then I want you to bring those back into the main run of the tree or the main branch of the tree. So here's how you do that. You would come up here and you want to create a new branch in your GitHub for desktop, in your GitHub application, and you want to call it something like brand area, or let's do feature area. Okay, let's say I did something wrong with the feature cards. Okay, so feature area, and you want to base it off of the master branch. So now you've created a branch, and you can see up here in your timeline, it's like Back to the Future. You're in an alternate timeline now. You're running off of the main branch, and you're making changes, and they're not affecting the main branch, right? So you can make some changes. You'll see it's even changed like the code that's in our browser. So now it doesn't look any different, but I'm gonna prove it to you right now. Ready? I'm gonna make a, let me see, we're inside of features. Let's make one of the features cards like really, really big and ridiculous, okay? So we're changing one of them to 10 because you think that looks better, okay? You'll notice if I come back, I have two uncommitted changes, the SAS file and the main CSS file. And if I switch, I'm working on my feature area. If I switch to my master branch, you can see it reloaded the browser and everything, but it took away that style we just wrote, okay? If I switch back to the feature area, it's going to make the changes. So you can just flop over from branch to branch. Now, if you decided that you like the way that this looks better, okay? So first you have to commit the branch, okay? You're gonna say just say border change. And you can comment, say they look better big, okay? Then you can commit to that feature branch and you can sync it, okay, up to the repo. Now there's some sort of changes that are actually committed to the repo. Now you can go in and you can make a pull request. What that means is, hey, you're saying border change. I think that they look better big. Compared to your master branch, Jesse, and my feature area branch that I did, I think you should pull these into GitHub and make these changes. So what you can do is just say, send the pull request, okay? Now this is gonna be weird because I'm sending a pull request to myself, but stay with me. We'll go over to GitHub and I'm just gonna refresh the browser and you'll see right up here it says there's 2 branches. I created a branch. I wouldn't see that if you created a branch. But now there's a pull request in my project, okay? I'm gonna click on pull request and I'm gonna see some sort of nice comment from you that says, I'm gonna click on it and it just tells me like, you know, hey, this is a border change. They look better big, okay? I can actually look at the files that were changed. I can come in and see that, wow, you've gone into like my, my features SAS and you have changed the border. Okay, maybe I like that. I can come in here and merge the pull request and actually like accept it. Yeah. Or I can deny the pull request. I'm gonna go, sorry, man, I like mine better. And I'll even leave you a thumbs up. I'm gonna say close and comment. So now I've closed that pull request. I'm not gonna be working on that one. And if you wanted to keep working on it, you could try again over and over and over until there's code that I really love and want to accept and put into my project. And that's it. If a pull request doesn't go through, it doesn't go through. You can try again if you want, or we can have a back and forth conversation on GitHub about why maybe I didn't like it and how I would accept it if you would make a few other changes. So now if you want, you can keep working on this feature branch. If you don't like it, you can just make sure that you have that branch selected. Oops. And you can come up here and delete that branch that you're working on. And you're back to your master branch. When you come into GitHub, you're gonna wanna make sure you come up here to the right-hand side and sync the most recent files that I've been working on so that you're working with the most current version. Then, based off that most current version, you can make branches to your heart's desire and start making pull requests on areas that you think I could have done better, which I'm totally down for. Well, that's it. We finished up the brand logo area and the key features of the site, and I think it's looking pretty good so far. Thanks for sticking with me. I know this was a little bit of a longer one, so I really appreciate you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. There's more videos in this series coming out. Also, make sure to hit the bell icon so you know when a new video comes out each week. I put the link to the GitHub repo down in the description, as well as some helpful resources about CSS Grid. If you have any questions whatsoever, make sure to leave them down in the comments, or you can find me on Twitter at IamJesseShow. I hope you guys are having an amazing week. I hope you're designing amazing things. I hope you're coding amazing things, and I'll see you in the next one.